in a coal mine in travelways or airways that can be walked is a big debate in the industry as to whether that's the better thing to do or not. There are many of those types of debates that are ongoing between engineers in the industry and companies that are operating in the industry. And we feel, of course, that the engineers and the graduates that we have and the experience that we have should cause great interest to be held in the company's views. But there are rules that are generic on a day-to-day basis that many in the industry disagree with. The most controversial, which has nothing at all to do with this accident in recent months, has been the requirement that we turn our scrubbers off. We have devices that you might look at as vacuum cleaners that suck the dirty air out of the working place and exhaust it away from the miner. And we've been required by MSHA in several cases to turn them off, even though it's a technological advancement that we believe strongly enhances the health and safety of our coal miners. Additionally, the industry developed remote control for years that allows an extended cut where a continuous miner, instead of going 10 or 20 feet, might go 40 feet in a single cut. And MSHA has been requiring that not be the case in many instances, which results in the miners having to rehang the equipment cable and move the equipment and set up over and over, which is both exhausting and prone to injury. So there are a number of details, many of which don't relate at all to this accident in our opinion, but in that, if you will, symbolize the difficulty of people with differing opinions and professional opinions coming to a different conclusion. I don't believe you've had a chance yet.
Admiral Inman, correct me if I'm wrong, when you had your opening remarks, you had said that Massey was an industry leader in business ethics and safety. Have you read the Caperton versus A.T. Massey Supreme Court decision?
I've read the final decision of the West Virginia Supreme Court, which for the second time, without Judge Benjamin on it, in fact ruled in Massey's favor.
The Supreme Court of the United States said that when Benjamin did not recuse himself, he violated the due process clause of the U.S. Constitution, the U.S. Code of Judicial Conduct, that related to the judicial conduct that he should subscribe to, the West Virginia Code of Judicial Conduct and the American Bar Association Standard for Professional Conduct, and then called for judicial election reform across the United States. Do you believe the relationship between the man on your left and our West Virginia Supreme Court Justice Benjamin, do you think that that is in keeping with the ethical standards of A.T. Massey?
The answer is yes, for this reason. Mr. Blankenship has the right of free speech and the right to support whomever he wants. We've had a lot of dialogue about making sure there's clear space between Massey and Blankenship on political activities. But he is in fact a free citizen in the state and in the country. Personal view, I like a system where judges are appointed and confirmed, not elected. But in Texas, as in West Virginia, we elect our judges. And therefore, it is a part of the political process. Much has been made that we won the case only because of electing Judge Benjamin. I've seen very little mention in the media that when the Supreme Court sent the case back and it was re-argued, we got exactly the same outcome from it. So I think that answers the fundamental question of whether there are ethics at work here that were adverse to the state of West Virginia.
Kenny Bass with the ABC and Fox here in Charleston. Either Mr. Blankenship or one of the board members could answer this. What is happening with the members of Upper Big Branch now? Where are they working? Massey has contracts for metallurgical coal that it has to meet, so how is the company keeping those men employed and where have they moved them to?
Well, we're attempting on the basis of where they reside to find work for them in an area where it's easy for them to get back and forth, and most of them will be and/or are already activated at new startup sections on Route 3 between Sylvester and up through Whitesville and on up to Montco. So most of them are returning to work. I'm not right up to the moment up to date on how many, but certainly it's expected the great majority will be back to work within the next few days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.